I want to ask you one question. If science today explains something and the same thing was mentioned in a book 1500 years ago, would you stop and think, or would you just ignore it? Today I am not making emotional claims. I will do two things. First, I will quote science, then I will quote the Quran. And then I will ask you a question. Let's start the video with part 1, Earth and Life Support. Science says for a planet to support life as we know it, it must be in the habitable zone where liquid water can exist. NASA science. Scientists say a planet must be at the right distance from its star. If it is too close, water boils away. If it is too far, water freezes. Earth is at the perfect distance. Earth's atmosphere protects life. Soil supports plant growth with microbes. So science concludes Earth is a life support system. Now I quote the Quran. وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا لِلْأَنَامِ, and He split the earth for all living creatures. According to classical Tafsir, this means the earth was made for creature to live, rest and benefit. Science says earth has life support conditions. The Quran says the earth was set for living creatures. Is this just a poetic sentence, or it is a functional description of the world? If it is functional, then who designed this system? He is the one true God, Al-Haq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Part 2, Grain and Straw. Science says the husk acts as a natural protective barrier for cereal grains. Journal of Cereal Science, and according to FAO, cereal straw is a major livestock feed resource worldwide. Scientists show grain husk protects seeds from moisture and pests. Straw, the leftover stock, is used as animal feed. Now I quote the Quran, وَالْحَبُّ ذُو الْعَصْفِ, and the grain with its husk. Tafsir tells us grain with straw means protection for grain. Straw becomes animal feed. Here we see science says straw is useful. Quran says straw has purpose. Is this just random wording, or it is a real functional system? If it is a real system, then who created both the design and the utility? He is the one true God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Haq. Part 3, Fragrant Flowers. Science says research published in the journal Physiology and Behavior shows that exposure to lavender and orange odor significantly reduces anxiety. And the review in the annual review of ecology explains that floral scent plays a key role in pollinator attraction. Scientists find plant smell affects human mood. Floral scent attracts insects for pollination. Now I quote the Quran. وَالرَّيْحَانِ, and the fragrant plants. According to Tafsir, this brings pleasure to people. They add beauty and delight. Science says fragrance affects mood. Quran says fragrance is delight. Is this symbolic language or reality we experience with our senses? And if this reality is real, then who made this beautiful system? He is the one true God, Al-Haq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Part 4, the repeated challenge. After describing these blessings, the Quran repeats one question. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. So, O jinn and mankind, which of your Lord's favor will you deny? This question is repeated 31 times in the chapter. 31 times. Psychology tells us repeated exposure increases emotional impact and strengthens memory. This is not just repetition for decoration. It is a challenge. Each time after blessing, the same question. What will you deny? I am not saying the Quran is the science textbook. I am also not saying every line is a scientific formula, but when we look at the natural world, the words of the Quran and the connection between them, a question forms in our minds. How could functional descriptions of nature appear in a book from 1500 years ago? Without observation and science? Who knew all of this so clearly? There is only one answer. He is the one true God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-Haq. There is no deity worthy of worship except Him. If you are not just listening but thinking, then answer the question, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. So, O jinn and mankind, which of your Lord's favor will you deny? If you like thoughtful, evidence-based reflections, support the channel. Like, subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts below. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakallahu.